Hi everyone, it's Jerry with another EFT tapping video to help you get through the COVID-19 quarantine shelter-in-place crisis that we are all surviving right now. It's a strange time to be an American. It's a strange time to be a human being on planet Earth. But we're not helpless. There are things we can do to get ourselves and our families through. And this is one of those things. This is a self-healing protocol that can really help you manage negative emotions, manage stress, manage repetitive thinking, worry, anxiety, all of it. Even physical pain, even physical symptoms in the body can be managed and even sometimes eliminated by using EFT. Now, I got a good one for you today. This is not academic. I had a pretty bad morning. So today we're going to be tapping on what to do when you feel irritated by the people you live with, what to do when you feel criticized or just pissed off by the people in your immediate environment. And this is a pretty severe issue for some of us because, we're stuck at home. We can't go to our jobs, and we don't have the usual space in our relationships that gives us opportunity for healthy balance. So it's just like they're in our face all the time, and even the best people will come to be annoying to us sometimes because, we're not used to this. So before we get to the tapping, though, I want to just sort of explore really briefly something that I think is really critical. If you're beginning to build your own EFT practice, I want to offer you a very clear piece of guidance about this. This is not spiritual. And I say this to you sort of tongue-in-cheek because, of course, it's spiritual, right? This is not part of the mainstream, medical establishment. This is alternative complementary mental health and physical health. But I want to be clear that this is not what you might think it is. This appears, you tap on your face and, you say these affirmations and all your problems go away. That's not what this is. One of the problems that was introduced to us by the spiritual movement to some degree was that, things like The Secret and sort of New Age thinking is that it encouraged us in many ways to focus on the positive. Just think about what you want. Think about your desired outcome and only focus on that and send your energy only to that and it will come true. That's a load of shit. Okay? And I could talk for hours about why that's true, but the fact is that darkness is a part of our makeup. Darkness is a part of the human experience. And EFT tapping is not about being positive and focusing on only good things. Now, certainly toward the end of your tapping, or toward the end of each circuit, if you want to do it that way, you should be, instead of focusing on the darkness, you should be choosing instead how you want to feel. You should be specifying the outcome you want. I choose to let all those bad feelings go. I choose to release them, and I choose to feel good again. Certainly, be positive as an outcome toward the end of your practice. But in the middle of your tapping, in the middle of the self-talk, this is your chance to be negative, nasty, to let it all out. And you really have to go there. You really want to exercise every demon. Just express every nasty, negative, dark, trifling, gutter, just get it all out. That's what makes this work, guys, is that we use this to actually express all of that. We use it to exercise the darkness. We don't deny it. We don't try to cover it up, and we don't judge it, and that's the thing that got us to this bad feeling space in the first place. So this is our chance to really acknowledge and express all the dark, all the yucky, while holding a supportive space for ourselves in general. I had a really powerful conversation with a client over this weekend that was really struggling. And one of the things we distinguished was creating a space big enough for your life so that even when you have bad days or bad weeks or you feel bad, your love for yourself is bigger than that. It's like you imagine that your life is this big, beautiful home on this huge spread of gorgeous property. And you have a room, and it's called feeling crummy. And you have another room, and it's called feeling great. And you have another room, and it's called, meh, it's okay. And all of those happen inside the boundaries of your home. We tend not to relate to ourselves that way. We tend to instead think there's something wrong when we don't feel good. And like our whole life is burning down. We need to make our lives big enough and loving enough toward ourselves to hold the space for feeling bad, for having bad times. It's part of the human experience. Now, we can change it with EFT. We can literally manage our own stress, our own emotions, our own anxiety, our own depression, our physical symptoms. We have power to affect change. And we can move from room to room using this technique. But there's nothing wrong with you because you might not be feeling great today. There's nothing wrong with your relationship because you're in a conflict. There's nothing wrong with your mental health because you feel a little blue. Listen, guys, this is a nutty time to be a human being on planet Earth. And it is a normal, sane reaction to feel odd right now. We don't know what's going on. There are people getting sick and dying. It seems to be getting worse. If you are feeling anxious, upset, stressed out, panicky, know that those are sane reactions to this. And also, using tools like this, using self-healing protocols like EFT, you can change it. You can get out of the panic room into the peace room. You can get out of the depression room into the happy room. This is a very stressful time. However, it is also an opportunity for us to focus on what's important. I would even go so far as to say that I'm sort of thriving right now. And it's not because I have it perfect. Okay, I'm worried about money. I'm worried about health. I'm worried about my family just as much as all of you are. But I'm also taking the opportunity to focus on my health, to focus on what my life is about. And that does not have to stop because we're not going to work right now. I know it can be painful. You know, we're used to having a life full of distractions. And we don't usually look at this stuff. But I tell you what, your friends that are introverts, your friends that are used to being alone and prefer not to be distracted, they're our teachers right now. They're offering us an opportunity to learn from them. And we can use this as an opportunity to build better relationships with our families, to build better relationships with ourselves, with our health, to take up, learning of new things we've always wanted to try, to write that screenplay, write that book you've always wanted to write. There are still things we can do. This is not a pause. This is a reset. At least that's how I'm choosing to look at it. And I'm going to take full advantage. Do I have bad days? Of course. But that's where you focus on the positive. How do I make this time useful? And if you can't see a way to make it useful because you're bound up in stress, anxiety, depression, I get it. I get it. I've been in those rooms. If you're ready to move out of that room, tap with me. So today we're going to be tapping on general tension with the people that you live with. I've heard this from a lot of clients. I actually experienced it myself today too. I woke up late because I was up late, and I got into a little conflict with my partner. And I wasn't even awake. I'm slow to rise. It wasn't a big deal, but it just kind of set me off on the wrong foot. And I sort of spun because I was, you know, rubbing the sleep out of mine. I'm like, whoa, this is how I'm waking up. This sucks. And I let it get to me for a minute. And then I went, wait, I can get out of this room. I can get out of this room. So we're going to get out of that room today. If you have any kind of irritation, tension with your roommates, your family members, your children, your spouse, we can use this on that. And you can use this video. You can also, of course, you know, I love Brad Yates. If you search for YouTube for Brad Yates EFT, he's got amazing content too. You can always change the self-talk to reflect your personal experience if you don't feel this is doing the job. But remember, the basic components are let it out, acknowledge everything you're feeling. The worst, horrible feelings and thoughts you've got, let them out. Acknowledge and express them and hold space for yourself. That loving property, the boundaries of that property should be big enough for you to express this ugly and still be okay, right? Still love yourself, still, you know what, this is okay. And that's what EFT is about. So first, you acknowledge and express everything you haven't been able to. Then you love and honor yourself. You issue total respect and acceptance for yourself. Then you do it again. And you really give full voice to every bad thing you're feeling, every bad thing you're experiencing. The reframe that you do after that is essentially, and this is the reframe that I find useful because I'm a hypnotist and a rapid transformation therapist, and I understand that every symptom is a communication from our own unconscious mind. So I give full voice to everything I'm experiencing, and then I say in my self-talk around this time, but I know this is just my unconscious trying to reach me. It's just communication from my deep feeling mind. And I appreciate the message. I get it. And I know it's trying to help me. So I reframe the symptom as information coming from my own self in an attempt to help me. And I offer gratitude for that message. And then the very last thing I do is, now that I got the message, I don't need the bad feeling. I don't need the bad experience. I don't need the repetitive thoughts anymore. I can let those go now. I got the message. I'm paying attention. And I'm going to take care of us. I'm going to take action. So I don't need the anxiety. I don't need the stress. I don't need the anger. Whatever it is, I can let it go. So I choose to feel good again. I choose to feel calm. I choose to feel focused. I choose to feel at peace. I choose to feel happy. But it has to feel truthful. You know, you have to be getting to a place with every circuit that feels attainable. Because sometimes if you're really, wrapped up in whatever negative experience, if your SUD score, your subjective units of distress score, is high, it can be really hard to see, oh, joyful, oh, peaceful. It doesn't even seem possible. So you might start with something like, I choose to feel a little better. I choose to release this. And then as you start to feel better, you can begin to build in more and more positive states as the outcomes you want at the end of your tapping routine. But, I've talked about it long enough. Let's get to the tapping, okay? So we're going to tap on conflict, irritation, tension with the people that you live with, okay? So first thing I want you to do is get your subjective units of distress score. That is, identify what you're experiencing that you don't want to experience. Is it an emotion? Is it a thought? So I'm going to identify what I'm experiencing as tension and irritation with my partner. And I'm going to say from 0 to 10, it's about a 3. I actually tapped on a little bit before. It was probably about a 6 before, and now it's about a 3. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just issue the intention to myself that I can and will take full responsibility for my health and healing and peace. I've got to know that I have power and control over it and not be a victim. So I'm just going to hold that intention for myself as I begin. Even though I'm irritated at my partner, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm pissed off at my living situation. I choose to love and honor myself. I don't like waking up this way. I'm stressed enough as it is. I don't appreciate being judged and criticized so early. I don't appreciate it in general. All this irritation, all this tension, it's been building. I don't like it. It shouldn't be like this. They should be better. They shouldn't treat me like this. I shouldn't have to feel like this. I deserve to be treated better. We're all stressed. We should be kind to each other, especially now. All these judgments I have, all these shitty feelings, I'm over it. But I know that they have a purpose. And I know that it feels bad. But I appreciate the opportunity to learn and heal. Deep breath in. Two more times. So I'm going to check in with that old feeling. It's about a 2. Could take it down more. And as you strip one layer of this thing off, you might notice something else. Like right now, I'm present to feeling pissed off and feeling bad about that, feeling guilty about that over something so minor. So I'm already starting to see the situation more clearly because I am taking the emotional intensity down. And that's the beauty of EFT is, when we're locked up in our emotions, when we're locked up in what I call these non-useful trances, we can't think clearly. We're stuck. We can't get out of it. We can't see our way out of it. But when you take the emotions down, your logical mind, your creative mind starts to come back online. So this is a beautiful thing about EFT. It not only helps us manage our emotions, but it can actually support our creativity, our problem solving, being rational, and all of those are things that we need right now. So I'm at about a 2, and I'm present to being pissed and then also feeling guilty. So I'm going to tap on those now, okay? Even though I feel pissed off, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel bad about being pissed off, I choose to love and honor myself. I feel childish now, and I feel guilty about that. But I choose to love and accept myself. I choose to hold a loving space for that experience. This is very minor. It's okay. So I choose to let these bad feelings go now. I see that they're not useful. I appreciate the message, but I can let them go. So I choose to release the negative emotions. I choose to release my judgments about them. And I choose to release my judgments about my partner and to release my judgments about the situation. I choose to feel good again. I choose peace for myself. I choose gratitude. I choose compassion. I choose love. One hand over your heart, one hand over your tummy. Deep breath in. Blow it all out. And I like to just imagine sinking into my own arms a little more with every circuit, or with every breath. Deep breath in. You'll note I'm making a sound. I like to make an ugly sound to sort of symbolize to myself the ugliness getting breathed out, leaving my body. One more breath. Now I'm just going to check in with that old feeling. You know, it's at a 1, maybe a half. What I'm present to now is, gratitude for the love that's in my life and compassion for myself and for my partner. That, this is just one of those daily things. It's not a big deal. It doesn't mean anything, right? It's not that we feel bad. It's what we tell ourselves it means. It means that it's over. It means we're in trouble. It means that he's not a good person. It means that she's terrible. It means that I gotta go. It means that my kids are never going to grow up right. All of that is, those stories are where we're actually causing distress, what it means. It doesn't have to mean any of that. It can just be a little blip on the radar screen, a little visit to the irritation room in the house, and now I'm choosing to go to the peace room and the gratitude room. Now, tomorrow, later today, next week, I might visit another room. I might visit the depression room. That's okay. Because I know that I can hold a loving, compassionate space for myself to acknowledge and express that. And when I'm ready to let it go, I can move back to the peace and gratitude room.